Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Yin. I'm Trish, and we're going to do a very nice, gentle, relaxing practice this morning. This evening. So grab your props. We'll need a bolster, some blocks, and maybe a cushion as well if you have like a smaller little cushion, um, just as an option. All right. So let me just check everyone is on mute. So I'm just tweaking my technology. All right. So we're going to start this evening with legs up the wall. So let's come and sit next to a wall. Actually, before we do that, I'm just going to get you to take your little cushion and just feel into your lower back. So as you lie straight down, just take a few moments here and just breathing into the body. And just bring your awareness to the back of the body and just noticing the areas that have contact with the earth. So if you've got hair at the back of the head, maybe just slide it up or to the sides so it's not poking into your head. And just feeling those natural curves of your spine. Let's take one more nice deep breath here. Okay, and then when you're ready, we're going to just bend the knees in, maybe just hug the knees into the chest for a moment. Rock from side to side, widening out across your hips, maybe a little gentle circle off your knees in one direction, back the other way. Feel that massaging out across your back, especially across the lower back, and then circling the knees in opposite directions. And then back the other way. All right. From here, just bring the feet to the ground and then just dropping the knees from side to side for a moment. All right, and then come back to center. Let's bring the feet and knees to hip width. And then from here, we're just going to scoop the pelvis under, squeeze your glutes, and then just gently lift the hips. We're going to now slide that pillow underneath your sacrum. And then from here, bend the knees and then bring your feet up towards the sky. So you can keep a little bend in the knees. And so what we want to feel here is basically like a lumbar support pillow when you're sitting in a chair. So if you're sitting for long periods of time during the day, especially in a chair position, this might feel quite nice on your back. All right, so now that we know what we're doing here with that pillow, okay, you have that option to have the pillow or not. And then let's just bring the feet back to the ground, scoop the pelvis under, lift the hips, and then slide the pillow out. Hug the belly into the spine, and then just gently draw the knees from one side to the other. Okay, so just roll onto your side, support yourself up, and then now come and sit directly next to the wall. So we sit sideways. And so if you wanted your cushion, grab your cushion here. I'm just going to grab my phone just so that I can keep the time because I can't see the time from the clock on the screen from where I'm lying. Okay, and so from this sideways position now, we are going to swivel our bodies around, bringing the feet up towards the sky. Keep a little bend in your knees if you need to, if you feel that the hamstrings are tight. Now, if you want that pillow back underneath your hips, we put our feet against the wall, we scoop the pelvis under, we lift the hips, and then we pop that pillow back underneath the sacrum. Okay, so maybe you might just want to gently sway from side to so hips slightly from side to side and just check in, feeling the weight of your hips in their sockets. Notice whether it's better for you with the pillow or without the pillow. And then once you have found your comfortable option here, let's just gently start to lengthen the spine, widen out through your shoulders, collarbones, and then slide the shoulders back down away from the ears into their sockets. Gently rest your hands by your hips out along the wall, or maybe bring them out by the shoulders, in line with the shoulders if that's more comfortable, or maybe starting to bring them up above the head. So from here, just gently starting to close down the eyes, cutting out the external world, and just starting to bring your focus and awareness a little bit deeper into your body and into your breath. And so nice, deep, full body breaths as you inhale, drawing that breath all the way down into your hips, into your belly. Feeling the belly expanding like a balloon as you inhale, and then from the belly starting to fill up the full capacity of your lungs from the bottom, middle, top, front, side, and back. Breathing into the heart center. Perhaps another breath into the neck and throat. And then as you exhale, just gently starting to soften, Softening through the hips, maybe widening out across the hip crease and feeling the weight of the hips just sinking a little bit further down towards the mat. Just going to slide closer towards the wall. And then softening up through the abdomen. Softening up through the chest and shoulders, maybe starting to widen out across the shoulder girdle at the back, maybe broadening through your collarbones at the front. As you soften through the shoulders, maybe you can slide your shoulder blades a little bit further down the sides of the spine at the back. And the shoulders starting to soften up through the neck and throat. Unclenching the jaw. Softening up through the face, through the cheeks, the eyes, and the eyebrow center. Just lengthening up through the crown of the head, opening the back of the neck, and keeping the tip of your tongue gently resting on the roof of the mouth just behind the two front teeth so that your energy circuit's connected. So right now, in this very gentle, supported inversion, we're just allowing all the blood and energy that's been gathering and pooling in our feet all day as we stand up to flow back towards the heart. And it feels good. You can maybe start to open up, flexing the feet, pushing the heels away and pulling the balls of the feet and the toes back towards you as you start to open up through the energy centers on the soles of the feet. Maybe feeling and imagining the energy from the heavens coming down through those soles of the feet, as well as the blood and energy and flowing down towards the heart. Deepening the breath. From here, you can keep the feet flexed, otherwise maybe just gently bringing one foot away from the wall and just starting to open up through the ankle and just gently starting to draw a few circles with the ankle in one direction, back the other way. So as we stand up all day, all that blood and energy is flowing to our feet, but we're also compacting our feet in these tight little shoes, whether they are heels or work boots or even just tightly laced up sneakers. So really try to free your feet now, and then we might make little circles and start to point and flex as you extend out through the toes. As you point the foot, extend from the breathe in from the hip and extending the energy all the way up through the toes. And as you exhale, flexing the foot, pushing the heel away and feeling that opening all the way up from the hamstring, back of the knee, through your calf, your soleus, Achilles, and the sole of the foot. Opening up through all those little tiny bones in the feet and the ankles. Keep deepening the breath and just notice if you feel any referring sensation. So for example, I'm loosening up my foot right now, but I'm feeling a release through my jaw. So deepening your awareness with your own body and noticing what you might feel. And just observing. Okay, let's gently release that foot back towards the wall if you're coming with me, and then taking the other foot out. And then from here, starting to gently draw a few circles, one direction, and then back the other way. Exploring different little angles. Maybe starting to point and flex the foot. Opening up through all those little tiny bones on the feet once again, opening up through the ankle. Okay, and then from here, Let's bring the feet back to the wall. Start to engage your pelvic floor, the muscles used when you stop your wee midstream, and then widen out across your hip crease. And now we're just going to allow the feet to fall out to the sides in a straddle. And then just breathing in here, take a few nice deep breaths. Make sure you're only coming to a position that feels supported and comfortable. So make sure you're not feeling pulling in your joints at any time. So and then bringing the feet out, just taking some nice, we'll just stay here for a couple of breaths. Wherever you're feeling the sensation, just breathing into it. And as you exhale, sending a message from the mind to the body. Just to soften and release. Keeping the face soft, shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. All right. And then now let's start to lift the pelvic floor again, hugging the belly into the spine. And then as we inhale, feeling the big thigh, the top of your thigh bone in the hip socket. And then we're going to inhale, bring the legs back in from here. Exhale, bend the knees, hug the knees in towards the chest, widen out across the hips, and maybe just slide a little bit away from the wall if you need to, and just gently rock from side to side. Okay, and then let's just gently roll to our side and then come to the side so you've got a little bit of space that you can extend your legs out. And then just shake the legs out, lengthen the spine, relax the shoulders, and come into Shavasana for 1 minute. Keeping the legs nice and relaxed, feet are falling out to the sides, letting the hips relax. Spine is long, shoulders relaxed, back of the neck is long, and tip of the tongue resting on the roof of the mouth just behind the two front teeth. Breathing into the body, observing how everything feels. Subtle changes as we release from that long hold. Breath or energy flowing, and just breathing into it. Oh, sorry, blood or energy flowing, and just breathing into it. And allowing everything just to assimilate. Tune with nice, full, deep body breaths, perhaps noticing how and where the breath is flowing, and it feels maybe flowing deep into the hips. Just doing a quick body scan with the breath, noticing areas that might feel open and easy to breathe into, other areas that might feel tight. Okay, and then when you're ready, let's slowly bring some movement back into the body, gently starting to wriggle your fingers and toes, maybe circling wrists and ankles in one direction and back the other way. Stretching the arms to the sides or above the head, inhale, and then as we exhale, let's roll into a little ball, roll the nose in towards the knees, keep the shoulders away from the ears, get a nice little stretch through the upper back, get the tops of the shoulders, lengthening shoulders, neck and head back down. Okay. Inhale here as we exhale, just widen the hips and then hug the knees a little bit closer in. And then from here, let's just gently circle your knees in one direction, back the other way. Take the knees apart, circle them in opposite directions, and then back the other way. Okay, bring the feet to the ground, dropping the belly into the spine, and just drawing the knees from one side to the other. Okay, and when you're nice and even, roll onto your side and then support yourself to come up. We're going to come into a nice supported heart opener now. So grab your bolster. And if you want to support your hips as well, feel free to grab a couple of blocks and bring your legs into butterfly as well. So from here, we're going to Use my pink box so they're a little bit easy to see. Okay, so we'll start with our lower back against the bolster. Okay, and then from here you have the option maybe bring your feet into butterfly. Lengthen the spine, relax the shoulders, maybe holding onto your feet or holding onto your ankles. Just gently feather your knees up and down a few times. Breathing into the hips, check in with the body, notice how the hips are feeling. Okay, and then from here, so if you want to take the butterfly option, you can slide the blocks just somewhere between, somewhere along your thigh, so somewhere between the hips and the knees, keeping the hips on the ground. Okay, and then we bring the hands behind us. Now we start to lift up through the spine, belly hugging in, and then keeping the belly hugging in towards the spine, we start to roll ourselves down onto our bolster. Once you are Okay, so make sure there's no pinching in your lower back. Once you are relaxed down onto your bolster, now we're going to lift the hips, scoop your pelvis under slightly and relax it back down onto the floor. So this is just going to give us that little bit more space through our lower back. And the hips are slightly away from the bolster now. Okay, so from here, just find a comfortable position, hands wherever it's comfortable. If the legs are not comfortable in butterfly, just feel free to extend the legs out. Or if you need a little bit more space through your lower back, you can slide yourself a little bit further down away from the bolster and then maybe bring your knees together, feet to the edges of the mat. Okay, so find what is a comfortable position for you, your body this evening. And hands can be by your hips, maybe taking the arms up to the sides, or maybe bringing them up above the head. And then from here, just gently starting to close down the eyes. And then coming back into a deepening breath. Breathing deep into the hips, the belly, solar plexus, heart center. Expanding with the inhale, and then as we exhale, we start to melt down. Notice wherever you're feeling a stretch or sensation and just starting to breathe into those areas in your mind's eye. Maybe imagining your breath like this beautiful white light and energy. As you breathe into those tight areas, start to see them opening, expanding. And then as you exhale, just sending a message from the mind to the body just to soften and release. Giving yourself permission to let go and just creating more space within the body to breathe and to move. If you felt you've had quite a long day, it's been quite a hot day here in Melbourne, maybe just a couple of little sighs. So we'll take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, just open the mouth, relax the jaw, and maybe make a little sigh out. Do that 2 more times. Last one here. Keep deepening the breath. So just sit for long periods of time during the day, and we're hunched over our devices. Sometimes our chest gets a little bit tight. So really breathing into the front of the body here. If your hands are crossed one way above the head, swapping them over so you're nice and even. Okay, we'll just take a couple more nice deep breaths here. Try to release as much as you can for these last few. And when you're ready, if your hands are bound above your head, releasing the hands back down by the hips. Belly, pelvic floor lifts, belly hugs into the spine. If you need to, you can bring your hands onto your outer thighs, otherwise feeling the big thigh bone in the socket. Inhale, bring your knees back together. From here, lift the head slightly, bring your forearm down to the side, and then keep the belly hugging in as we roll off our bolster. Slide the bolster out of the way and roll yourself back down onto your mat, onto your back. Keeping the belly hugging in, just gently dropping the hips from one side of the body to the other. And then when you're ready, just come back to center, extend the legs out and come into Shavasana for a minute. So once again, just returning back into our neutral position. Just allowing everything just to soften. Observing any subtle changes, sensations of blood or energy flowing through the body, warmth, tingling, coolness. That's normal. Just breathing into it. And then as you exhale, just allowing everything just to assimilate. When you're ready, let's slowly bring some movement back in. Wriggling fingers and toes, circling wrists and ankles. Inhale, stretching the arms up or to the side so you can take them out or up. Point and flex the feet. Exhale, hug the belly in, roll into a little ball, knees up to the chest. And maybe just a gentle rock from side to side, lengthening shoulders, neck, and head back down. From here, just gently rock from side to side. Keep widening out through your hip crease, lengthening the sit bones down towards the long end of your mat. And once you've done that a few times, gently circling the knees in one direction, back the other way. Taking the knees in opposite directions, and then back the other way. Okay. And now bring the feet back to the ground, keeping the belly hugging in. We'll just gently drop the knees from one side of the body to the other. All right. Let's come back through center. I'm just thinking of the time. We should have enough time. Okay, so from here, we're actually going to just come into banana asana. So we're going to lengthen up through the body. Inhale. And then as you exhale, slide the shoulders back down away from the ears. Bring your feet out to the edges of your mat now. Okay, from here, take hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Inhale, lengthen. So actually, bring your left foot across towards the right. Take hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Inhale, lengthen. As we exhale, we reach towards the right. And then squaring the hips and shoulders back towards the sky. So right now, you're in this banana shape. And you're feeling this very nice opening across that left side of your body. And we're feeling a little bit of compression on the right. Make sure there's no crunching through the bones in your hip, your side waist, or your ribs. Let's take a couple of nice deep grounding breaths here. Just breathing into wherever you're feeling the sensation. So if your shoulders feel very tight in this position, you can also pop a block underneath your, or a cushion underneath the wrists to give a little bit of support. Or underneath your elbow, whatever's Good. Yeah, so until you can look like this. And then now maybe starting to bring your mindset a little bit deeper into the body and imagining that your lungs are like bellows. So as we inhale, we're now going to start to inflate that left side. And as you exhale, you're deflating through the right side. Sometimes that internal visualization can help you deepen into the shape a little bit more. Maintaining a little bit of activation through that right side. So once again, we're not crunching into the bones. And just feeling that beautiful opening through that left side of your body, from the hip, opening your side waist, opening up through the deeper through the internal organs, spleen, pancreas, kidney on the left. Opening up through the ribs, the intercostals, even deeper into the lungs. Up through the armpit or your lymph nodes, all the way out through your arm into the hand and the fingertips. It's always in our yin practice, we never want to force anything. So we stop at the first point of resistance and just breathing into it. And allowing yourself to melt that little bit deeper. If you want a little bit more, maybe you can flex your feet, take your left foot, hook it over the top of your right. Cool. Eye gaze is wherever's comfortable. You can look down to your bottom shoulder or up onto your top elbow or armpit. Keep deepening with the breath, allowing yourself to drop that little bit deeper. Okay, let's take a couple more nice, deep, beautiful breaths here. And you're ready. Hug the belly in, uncross the legs, bring everything back to center. Exhale, release the arms. Come back into Shabbat just for a minute, just for a few moments, and just breathing into the body. Maybe just checking in, taking note, notice how everything feels, maybe one side compared to the other. Observing the flow of breath and energy. Okay, when you're ready, let's come to the second side. Let's take the arms up above the head. This time we're holding onto the right wrist with the left hand. Feet are out to the edges of the mat. Bring your right foot across towards the left, laying from the spine. Inhale. As we exhale, we are reaching to the other side. Stay where you are. I'm just turning around so I can see everyone. So once again, we'll just start with some nice deep grounding breaths. Just breathing into wherever you're feeling the stretch. Make sure we're squaring our hips and our shoulders, our hips and chest towards the sky. Notice your body's rolling to the side. And draw that right hip back towards the floor. Keep breathing into that right side of the body. Once again, use whatever you need to support you. If your shoulders feel tight this evening, pop a block underneath the shoulders. I mean, it's underneath the elbows, or sorry, underneath the wrists. So should look like this, or have a little bit, or have a big bend in your elbows as well. That's another option. So Diane, if your arm's sort of crossing across your face, just have that arm up if you like, or you can have it on a block or on a, to give yourself a little bit of support, and maybe don't come too far. So if you're coming too far, that the arm is now covering your face, maybe come a little bit less back. So we're in our yin practice, because we're doing such long holds, we're trying to target the fascia or the connective tissue and allowing everything to melt open. So we don't want to go to that full point of extension and you're holding this in a shaking position for 5 minutes. We want to just find that first point of resistance and where you feel really nice, and there's a nice gentle stretch, but it's not too intense. And then from there we deepen. Once again, maybe coming into your bellows visualization if you found that helped on the first side. We're here for another couple of minutes, so just keep deepening the breath and softening down. Bringing the awareness deeper and deeper into your body. Using the breath to release, deep, nourishing breaths. Once again, if you haven't already, you can always cross that right foot over the left if you want a little bit more. Maybe dorsal flexing the feet, angling the sole of that right foot back towards the short end of your mat. So on the right side, we've got our kidney as well. So we've got kidneys on both sides, but we've got our liver as well. So our liver is where anger is stored, and sometimes as life gets hectic, gets stressful, we might carry unnecessary emotions. So we want to breathe into that area in your mind's eye, maybe noticing where it's tight. Like visualize it as dark or cloudy, stagnant energy, and then visualizing your breath like this beautiful white or golden light. Breathing into those spaces. Filling them with that beautiful pranic energy, that beautiful white golden light. whatever colors that you might see, whatever your soul needs at this point in time. All right, when you're ready, let's come back to center, pelvic floor, this belly hugs in. Uncross the legs and then inhale, bring the hands back to center. Exhale, releasing the arms. Come back into Shava. And take some nice deep, beautiful breaths here. Again, just check in with the body. Notice how everything feels. Okay. Are you ready? Slowly wiggle your fingers and toes, circling wrists and ankles, one way, other way. Stretching out. Exhale, belly hugs in. Hug the knees into the chest, maybe into rock. Rolling shoulders, neck and head back down. Circle your knees a few times in one direction, like the other way. Circle the knees in opposite directions and back the other way. All right, from here, bring the feet back to the ground, belly hugs into the spine as you bring the knees from one side of the body to the other. Okay, and then even yourself up, roll onto your side and very gently support yourself to come back up. Okay, we're going to come into our twist now. So we're going to grab our bolster again. Now, we have an option to set it up. So 2 options. We can do the more traditional way, but Sheila, you might want to set it up with a straight back. Okay, so if you want your bolster to be totally straight, so in this shape, we're basically coming into this twist like so. So now, Sheila, if you don't want to twist your lower back, what we're going to do is we're going to build a little platform with our blocks and a pillow. It goes like this. Okay, so it's kind of like a little ski ramp. And then you can pop your bolster on top of it. And that is going to give you a nice straight shape. Okay, so otherwise, option is just to have your bolster flat on the ground. So from here, we come into deer pose, bringing our right hip next to your bolster, your knees out to the side, and your shin is parallel with the long end of your mat. Your other knee is facing forwards, your toes are pointed, and your shin is lined with the short end of the mat. We're going to lengthen up through the spine. Inhale. So Sheila, maybe have yours on an incline. Diane, it's your personal choice. It's a much deeper twist if you bring it all the way flat down. Okay, so we're going to lengthen, inhale, and then from here, we walk the hands forwards and we hug our bolster. Okay, so this, when it's on an incline, there is not really that much to my back, but it just feels very nice and supported. So feeling the belly on the bolster. Okay, otherwise, so did you make a little incline, Sheila? Otherwise, if you like, you can just have the bolster all the way flat down, and this will be a bit of a deeper twist. Coming into our shape here, lengthening up, walk your hands onto either side, and then hug your bolster. Okay, from here, so we'll start with the head facing the same direction as the knees, and we should just keep the belly hugging into the spine, feeling a nice stretch across the back. And this should feel like a really nice, nourishing, supported pose. Gently closing down the eyes. And then just deepening the breath. Noticing where you might feel some sensation. If your bolster's flat, maybe through the lower back. If your bolster's on an incline, maybe through the middle back. And just breathing into it. And then as you exhale, just softening. Imagine that your bolster is just rising up to meet you and hold you and support you. Hmm. And from here, if you're feeling super comfortable, stay where you are. Otherwise, if you want to take the twist a little bit deeper, you can start to ground into your hands. Belly hugs in as we lift up and we turn the head to the other side. You're really listening to your body and honoring wherever it's at right now. Mm. Mm. Allow yourself to drop that little bit deeper. Imagine that your bolster is just rising up to meet you, hold you and support you. Mm. Okay, and then from here, we're going to very gently exit out of the pose. So when you're ready, we'll slowly unhug our bolster and gently starting to push your hands into the mat. Hug your belly into the spine, and then we're gently walking the hands back in. Bring your left hand behind you, draw the belly in, and then just drawing the knees from one side to the other. Maybe arching and rounding the spine as well. So as we go to the side, we arch, rounding through center, and then going back to the second side. Okay. And then from here, let's go on to the second side. So if you've got your setup already, Sheila, turn around, do it the other way, come into your deer pose. I'm just going to swap the way I'm going so I can see, but you can just gently basically turn yourself to the other side. So if you've got your setup on the blocks, so so you don't have to reset it. It's quite comfortable for you. And Diane, are you still with us? We're changing to the second side. So from here, so you have your left knee, left hip by the bolster, left knee's out to the side, right knee's facing forwards, lengthen up, belly hugs in, and then we gently start to twist. Walk, bring the hands onto either side of the bolster, walking the hands forwards, lifting the ribs, and then bringing yourself down. And then from here, just melting down, breathing into the back of the body. I'm gonna melt down here for 5 minutes. Mm. Once again, as before, if you want a little bit more, you know, lengthen up, hug the belly in and turn your head to the other side. If you want a little bit deeper twist. Mm. 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 Okay, we'll just take a couple more nice deep breaths here on the second side. And then when you're ready, let's gently start to hug the belly in. Release the bolster, start to push into your hands and slowly walk yourself back up. Take the right hand behind, hugging the belly in and just gently drawing the knees from one side to the other. Okay. And then from here, let's come back into one more quick shavasana before our next pose. So we're just going to slide everything out of the way. Relax yourself onto your back, lengthening up, relax the shoulders, and then melting down. Taking some nice deep breaths here into the body. Once again, just checking in, noticing how everything feels. Observing the breath. Hopefully everything feels a little bit more open. So breath feels a little bit more expanded, as if we can breathe deeper into our bodies. Okay, and then when you're ready, gently wriggle fingers and toes. And then just whatever feels good, maybe stretching out, maybe hugging the knees in. And then if you need to, gently mobilizing, circling knees. Rocking from side to side. Try to keep the body in a nice relaxed state. So now our parasympathetic nervous system is kicked in, so we want to maintain that really nice calm relaxed space as we move into our next shape. So from here we're going to finish off with tadpole, one of my favorites, always so relaxing. Now Diane, I think you sort of fell asleep or just was very deep into that one side, so I'm not sure if you did. I don't think you did both sides, so it's up to you if you want to do the second side of your deer pose and or do the tadpole pose. So maybe just even your body up, so it's the same thing, just turning the other way with the bolster. But we've just done the second side already, so you have the option of doing that or just coming into tadpole. Okay, and yep, so lengthen up, belly hugs in, walking the hands, lift the ribs, walk the hands forwards, and then Diane, you melt down. Sheila, you're going to come with me into tadpole. Awesome. Okay, so from here, we bring our bolster down and then we straddle over the bolster. So option one, you can maybe come into a modified child's pose where you are actually bringing your bum back onto your heels. Your knees are actually quite wide and you can come down like this. So this is one option. Otherwise, tadpole, which I really like, which you bring your hips onto the bolster. And you can either have your knees a little bit further forward, so like a child's pose, or I like to have my knees in line with my hips. It doesn't look in line with on the screen, but it is in line here in real life. Okay, and you can bring the toes together. Now, from here, you can bring a block down and then just rest your forehead onto the block. So you're getting a massage out through your eyebrow center with the edge of the block, and that's going to give you a little gap so you can breathe. Okay, rest your chin on the bolster so your neck is supported. Hands are as comfortable. I like to hug my bolster or bring them in a little gap between the bolster and the block. So make sure your hips are feeling really nice and comfortable, back feels comfortable, and then just melting down. Breathing into the back of the body, and then as you exhale, just let everything be heavy, melting down. Once again, feeling the bolster rising up to meet you, hold you, and support you. Hmm. Just take a couple more nice deep breaths here, in, out. Tug pole, Sheila. Diane, if you want, you can stay in that position because you were 10 minutes on the other side. So it's up to you if you want to remain there. And then just do Shavasana afterwards. So when you're ready, Sheila, we're just going to gently start to push into the hands. Actually, let's just extend one arm out, extend one leg out. So remove your hands from underneath, extend one arm and one leg. And then we just roll off our bolster and roll onto our back. Slide the bolster out of your way, roll yourself back onto your mat. Make any adjustments if you need to. And then when you're ready, just melt yourself, relax down. So if you need to hug the knees in, or if you need to grab a blanket to be cozy. Okay, so from here we have our feet just a little bit wider than hip width. Need to roll the tailbone under, create more space through the lower back, lengthen the spine, widen the shoulders, and then sliding the shoulders back down away from the ears into the sockets, hands by the hips. It's comfortable, turning the palms of the hands facing out, fingers lightly curled. Back of the neck is long, maybe lengthening the back of the neck, rolling the chin in towards the throat, and keeping the tip of your tongue resting on the roof of the mouth behind the two front teeth. Hmm. So if you're doing this as a video, I encourage you to stay in Shavasana for a little bit longer, maybe for another 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, especially if your body feels like it needs it. I'm just gently going to get up and say goodbye. So just being mindful that when you come out, just to roll onto your left side, just to bring your heart rate back to normal. If you're in my live class, feel free just to stay where you are for a few more moments. And I'm just going to say goodbye. So namaste for the video.